We have any issues, or is everything in order? Okay, stream is good. Twitch not stream. Come on, Twitch is good. LinkedIn actually picked up right now, so we can just okay. Yeah, I think LinkedIn is also good, and YouTube is working. So yeah, guys, kind of like delayed this stream for some time now. I haven't been able, yeah, 2 days so far. I haven't streamed, depending on where we stopped last time. So I was kind of like working on other stuff and haven't got the time to actually complete the part that we stopped in our last stream, and we are going to go ahead and complete that today. That's why I named this stream Stripe payment on your app, so that you can just focus more on that and how to integrate Stripe and Stripe payment with your app. But I think it's still the same way. If you want to integrate it with React Native, it's still the same, almost the same method name and all those stuff, the same process, backend process, API creation process, yeah, and the same flow. So there's not much difference. But yeah, we will implementing that on Flutter. So let's go ahead and work on that. So last time we kind of like created this backend API where we call this one. This was name. Okay, guys, give me a second. It looks like the audio is not actually working. Or what? Okay, sorry, that was from my own end. So I was actually listening to this stream. So usually you do that. So whenever I'm streaming, I usually listen to this stream to see if it's audible or something like that, if there's something going wrong. But my hardware wasn't picking the sound. So yeah, it's working now. So back to this, last time we were here, so we created this endpoint called Stripe Pay and point method. So basically to create our payments method ID for any Stripe payment, and we have this endpoint for Stripe intent ID, creating Stripe payment intent ID. Also this for create payment intent, and finally we have not finally, so we have this create customer endpoints and also create customer card endpoint. So we'll be working with most of these endpoints. Yeah, I think there's no addition. I didn't do anything there. First of all, we kind of like going to start off with, because I kind of listed most of this down. So the issue we had last time was that we were trying to send data to the back end, and that wasn't working. So kind of like I did digging on what happened, and I found out that I needed to include this instead of application JSON to be able to send the JSON data type to the back end to be used. So that was the fix for all those stress we went through the last stream. So this actually fixed the whole stuff, and this right here is not even needed, so I'm just going to delete that. This part, see, just commented it out. We can still delete it if you want. So yeah, first of all, let's talk about something. So when you are working with Stripe, so if you want to do a testing with Stripe, if you could remember, we are sending our card details directly to Stripe API, and if we actually do that, we are going to get an error, which I'm going to show you guys right now. So we're going to play around with that. So I'll comment this code out. I'm going to, so it's already saved, so we don't need to do the saving. And then over here we are sending, which one are we calling again? Okay, we're not calling that, so we should be calling okay, the payment method, so the card method. So this one we have been playing around with now for now, so that we could see something. So right now I'm just hard coding a user to the API. So but this should be dynamic depending on the user that is trying to use our app to make a payment. So we head over here and then let's type our card details. So for testing, Stripe also provides card details for testing, which you could actually find there. Stripe card testing. Yeah, I think you should find that here. Yeah, so you could actually go through this. So we'll be using this one for testing, and that should be 42424242424242. So that's it. Then the name of the user, just write anything. I'll just give it Kevin as a name, and then the expiring date month 12/34, and then we have the CVV, just add code 3-digit number. That's all. And the next is just to click on this apply, just move this up. So tap on this, and then we are going to wash out here. You see there's this error, so we receive this error. So the error says this card sending credit card numbers directly to Stripe API is generally unsafe. We suggest you test tokens that map to the test card you are using, and so on and so forth. So basically what the error is talking about is that it's kind of like generally not acceptable to send card payment through Stripe API. So it's not acceptable because those are sensitive information. Come on, we are sending the card number, also the CVV number, and everything that concerns the user's card details over the API, which can be intercepted by any malicious user on when the connection is going. So there's a whole lot of stuff that can go wrong. Someone else can pick up the data of that user and use it for maybe withdraw their money in their accounts. So yeah, so to avoid that, so that's why we are getting these errors. And if you watch, you will see over here in our server that's also logged out. So we are logging the data, so we can actually receive the data, and that's working. We can log out the data here, which the previous stream we were not able to log all this out properly, and that's working now. So how do we fix this? So there's way that Stripe suggests to fix this. So we could actually go to this, copy this over, and we could go through the documentation together. And right here, so how Stripe suggests we do this. It looks like it's the same thing with the previous one, with this one. Oh, both are the same. Okay, so we can, yeah, you could use token. So they talked about token, so this is the token that we're talking about. So we could use token for that instead of sending the card details. And this token will basically just create a test card for that particular user you're trying to add card to. So we just copy this token, copy the token, and head back to the server right here. So what you need to do is remember, comment this side out. So comment it and uncomment this out. So uncommented it. You see the same token I just added here previously. So that's all you need to do. You don't need to pass in the card data through the back end, so that's no longer needed. So I could just leave this code like this, or I could just remove it, but I will remove it from the front end. You don't need to pass the user card details. So then let's test this out. Instead of testing with the Visa, I could just directly test with, because I already tested with Visa, so I will just test with MasterCard. No, okay, this should be it. So this is MasterCard token. So let's test with MasterCard token. So under here. And for the token, we just add the MasterCard token there. So just copy that and paste that inside the string quotes. I think that's it. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's all we need to do. And now we could just test this out over here. So we won't receive the error this time around if we just tap on this again. Tap and let's wait. And that went successfully, and we could actually see the details being printed out on our console. You can just bring this up. We could see the card details created for that particular user, and the type of card is MasterCard, which is good. And we could actually verify that by heading over to our Stripe dashboard. Refresh this and open this user. So you can see this user has two cards, MasterCard and Visa card, which I just previously added that, but that's working. So you see we have the MasterCard. I previously added Visa card, but right now we added MasterCard. You see the information that were provided, the card number, fingerprints, expires, type, issuer, ID, billing address, phone number, and all those stuff. Yeah, so that's basically it. So what else we could do, since we already created this, is just so basically what I want to show you guys is one way to actually do this for testing instead of sending this data forward, and that way just to use token for that. We kind of succeeded in doing this. So the next method is we could actually test with sensitive data. And so if we are to test with sensitive data, which will allow us to send this card number, kind of like if you insist that your company needs it, your app needs it, or whatever you are doing needs that particular scenario solution. So the best thing you could do is just head over to your Stripe dashboard, head over to the settings path, and go through to integration settings. Where is that? Come on. No, I don't think this is it. No, I don't think this is what we are looking for, but that should be called integration. Why am I not seeing this? Okay, let's kind of search through this. So let's just try integration. Yeah. So I'm trying to look for that. Come on. I think it should be somewhere on a previous browser that I used. So just give me a moment. Let me check that out. Okay, I think I'll find it somewhere. I'll just copy that over. So basically what we are looking for is this. So this is called settings integration. Why didn't we see that? So this is it. So if you actually want to test with real card details, which is not good, but if you insist that you can actually protect the users data being transferred through the between clients and server communication, so you could actually head over here and then click on this. Then you need to accept this, then accept all this stuff here. Once you are done with that, so you could go ahead and start testing with real or even if I think you can actually use that in reproduction. Yeah, you can do that in reproduction too. And but you have to be the one to agree with the PCI compliance. So you have to make sure you handle the whole security about the user's card payment details falls on you and your company. So that's why it's not acceptable to do that. But like I said, if you want to do that, that's what your company needs. So you just need how to enable that. And I'm not going to enable that. So if you once you enable that, you'll be able to basically uncomment this code out, comment this one, and then you can start sending the real data from the back end, from the client to the back end, and it will work for you. Yeah, I think that's it. So that's one way to actually be able to send real data through the back end. And with that being said, so the next method we are going to use is to actually use our own input field. So I kind of like listed different methods we can actually be able to achieve this on your app. Yeah, so the next method, which is the third method, will be basically to and the third method I'm talking about, you can still use that in production, and you can still use that in also testing mode, like the previous two methods we mentioned. This one right here just for testing, don't use this for production. So you can actually not create a user real card using this. So this token method is for testing mode, so don't use this for production. Like I said, I will just comment that out. And if you want to test both, if you want to test real data for production and test mode, you have to comment this one and use this method, and then you have to enable this, like I said, to be able to do that both in production and testing. Then the third method I'm going to talk about is to be able to send this data, but we're not going to send it over through our API to the server. We are going to send it somehow. You guys are going to see how to do that. So how to actually accomplish that will be, let's start. So head over here. So head straight to, okay, here is our card details. So right here, remember previously we are creating a card model. No, not this part. Add new card. Okay, yeah, so this create Stripe customer card. So this is it. So previously we are creating the card details, which is coming from Stripe itself. So import that. So this is it. And let's see what else we are doing. Yeah, so we created this card details. Right now we need to actually do this. So this is like the third method I'm talking about. Remember the third method. So this create the user's card details using the pre-filled card here, details on the phone, and then call this method, which is Stripe instance of dangerously update card details. That's what they named it, dangerously update card details, because it's actually not also, it's kind of like not that this method is not really that dangerous like they mean, but the thing is that you need to comply with PCI. The difference is that you are sending it through your own, you are accepting the user's card details through your own form field. I'm not from Shopify. I'm not, what did I say, Shopify? I'm not from Stripe own payment field. We are still going to talk about that one. I'm still going to show you guys how to work with that one, but for now we are just talking about it. So the reason why they named this dangerously update card detail, like I said, is basically you are accepting the user's payment details through your own form field that you created on your phone. I'm not through Stripe form field. Understand? So Stripe kind of like views their own form field as security proving. So they kind of like, which is they worked on it really hard on their own side, because you can actually, unless you want to be able to achieve the same security on your own end, you can use this method. But you can actually use this method. It's not that, like I said, it's not that bad, but you need to submit what they call SAC. So you need to submit these documents. What is it again? So you just need to submit a SAC document. Let me get that. I think I have that somewhere. So you need to head over here on this site, And once you are there, what's happening again? I don't know why that's not loading. We just use other method. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's it. It's working. So if you have to go with this method, you have to submit this document to Stripe. So once you are actually your app is going to production, you have to download this document, fill the whole details in it, what is required, and submit it directly to Stripe. And that's all you need to do. Next is, so this is the document we are talking about. Yeah, sure. So this is a SAC A PCI compliance document. So just scroll through there, look at where you need to. Okay, yeah, there we go. So just go through all this and figure out the whole details that is required. Just fill up the whole details as required, and then go ahead and submit this to Stripe, and yeah, you'll be able to use this method that we have here. So that's all that's required from you. And let's get ahead with the method. So the method we are calling dangerously update card details, and we're passing the card details to this Stripe instance here. And after that, what we need to do is to call another method. The method is called create payment method. So over here, yeah, down below this one. So we just use say final. That should be called payment method, which should be equal to await. We're going to say, okay, it's already suggested that to us, but I'm going to type that out. I'm going to say stripe.instance dot create payment method. Okay, there we go. And in there, this actually requires something. So it requires a property called payment params. So we're going to create a payment params, so constant payment. So one way to actually get the data type is just to copy this as a type, and we're going to say should be card. And now we need to fill the billing details for this card. So this requires another parameter called payment method data. So copy that over and then start right here. Yeah. So in there, we are going to fill in the billing details of the user inside here. Sorry, no, that's not a closing tag. So bring this down, and in here I'm going to copy over billing details, but that's just for mock data. So if you want to do this in production, you need to kind of be able to fill the data dynamically using the user's details. So I'm going to bring that up here. So this is the billing details, and the name is flutter stripe. We could actually go ahead and change this to be the user's name. So I just say get user name. Okay, self constant, just make that to be final variable, and email the same stuff the same way. Yeah, and again the phone number. Did we actually have user phone number? Okay, we don't have that, so just leave that to be empty for now. Yeah, and the next will be the address. So you can just leave this like this, but like I said, in production, make sure these are all changed. deal with the right data from the user. And then inside the payment method, we just update the billing method to basically use that. So that called our billing details, passing the billing details to it. So why is it showing an error? So invalid constant variable. So remove the constant from here, and that will fix the issue. Yeah, I think that's it. So once we call this function, so right, this function is just going to give us, let me see, is there something like, it's going to give us a payment method details, both the ID of the payment method that we're going to use to create this user card, because what we are trying to do is to create this user card and store the details inside. Give the Shopify will take I don't know why I keep on saying Shopify. So Stripe will take care of handling the whole security side of those stuff. Our payment details, just what we need from them is just to give us back this particular payment method that we submitted to them. Just not exactly the same. Is they're going to remove some stuff and just give us some data. So you guys are going to see how that looks. So this is the method we are creating. Next, so we call this. So next we are going to create an API where we are going to use this. So right here, so create customer payment. So we are going to attach that to the customer we currently have. So we're going to say underneath here in our server. So let's head over to our server. So here's our server. Our server already kind of has similar function that we're trying to create, which is simply this particular not payment intent. Okay, we did that in create customer. Yeah, so basically, yeah, this is the stuff we are trying to call stripe.customers.create. Then we pass in the payment intent to that particular customer, the payment method to that particular customer. So you can actually use this documentation right here. Just kind of like always try to use documentation to be sure of what you're doing. That should be somewhere here. So yeah, like I said, stripe.payment method attach this to particular existing customer that has been created, and attach the payment method ID right here, and then attach the customer ID right here. So that's what we are going to do right now. So I'm basically going to let's say so copy this all the way to that end and head over to our server. So here's our server. So we're not going to be calling the create customer endpoints, but what we are going to call this endpoint is basically create customer card. Okay, we already have create customer card, but this is kind of achieving different stuff. Or we could actually remove this and then use this new one. Okay, we are going to create a new endpoint. So basically copy this over, change some few stuff in it, and so there we go. Okay, I kind of heard a voice somewhere. I didn't know where that's coming from. Whether from the stream, because I'm not hearing any voice from my room. I don't know. But I just heard something like a loud voice. So yeah, head back here. Forget the distraction. So say create customer card, but we are not going to name it the same API. endpoint, so it's not good to name the same endpoint. So we're going to call this create customer card secure, so that will be the name. And next we're going to copy, like I said, just copy this over there. We're going to change this. We don't need this section all the way to this end. Remove that and paste this in there. And in here, we're going to say payment method, with stripe dot payment methods dot attach. So attach payment method ID and the customer that we want to attach that payment method to. And then we could actually return back any stuff that's already there. I think that's all we need to do. Let's see. So we can, yeah, with that you can decide to charge the card later on, charge the saved card, or charge a particular card. But right now we are trying to only save the card, which is this method that we have here. And yeah, so we're going to create inside here, we're going to pass something from our request. So request.body, inside request.body, I'm just basically going to pass something in there which we are going to get hold of and start using it. And how do we do that? So I'm going to send so we are going to send a payment method ID and the customer ID. So inside here, the structure in our request, name this secure payments. Yeah, I think that's the good name for that. Now that's where this log is coming from. And I'm basically going to delete this section. I'll just leave it and then update this. So the first one is going to be payment ID, and the second one is going to be customer ID. Yeah, just name it customer ID. We are getting that from request.body, and we are logging it this way, and we could just remove all this, replace them with what we just added here. Yeah, there we go. Then we could just use that in place of whatever we have here. And yeah, all of them are actually a string, so we can know from our client side we are only sending a string and not a number, or not a different data type. So basically say this should be payment, what's it called again? Yeah, payment ID. Yeah, and this should be customer ID. Just copy that and replace whatever is here with it. Yeah, I think we're good to go. And the only work that's remaining is just to be able to fix this inside our client side. So we head over to our client side. Let's copy this URL first. Copy that and head over to our environment file. So inside our environment file, okay, we still need to say create card URL. I'm going to call that in here. I'll basically just copy the whole stuff, just change few stuff on it, so call that in here. It's not going to be the same name, so create card secure, secure, yeah, secure URL. The endpoint that we are targeting should be this endpoint that we copied over, so use that endpoint right here. So create customer card secure, so that's the endpoint that we are targeting. Go ahead and save this. Yeah, once you save that, and head over to our front end, not our front end, but yeah, inside our code base here, and we are going to call, yeah, so I'm going to copy the same name. So we're going to call this right here, get access to that, and okay, make a post request to it, but we are not sending these data anymore. So I'm going to comment this data out. So we're going to send a different data. So the data we are going to send, okay, back. So I have body, and in there we're just going to have this. So the data, like I said, the first one is the payment ID, which we named. So guys, so we named the payment ID. And yeah, so get the payment ID from payment method, remember, from this call that we did here. So that's where we're getting the payment method ID. And next will be basically customer ID, which is added from this, from our function call. So whenever we're calling the function, we are passing the customer ID. So those are the two stuff we need to pass in once we call this function. I think we should go ahead and test this. So there's nothing else to change, and maybe change the card details a bit. So this should be expiring date, should be something different. So let's say 11/55, and card holder name maybe should I be Kane? I think that was okay. Then we could just go ahead and tap on this. Okay, we have an issue. So it says flutter stripe publishable key is required and missing. Publishable key is required and missing. Already passed in the publishable key over here in our main.dots. So why is it requesting for that again? Oh, we didn't. No, I think we did. So profile main controller. Oh, we did it right somewhere here, because I know we created a publishable key. Okay. That's strange. So how are we able to do the other stuff we were doing without a publishable key being added? So I'm pretty sure we did create that. I'll start create customer. Let's start debugging for you. So start create customer, and so there's no publishable key property here. So start create customer card. Also the same, none of them is here. That's pretty strange to me, because I thought we actually added that stuff here. Okay, that turns out we didn't. So we need to. Okay. We didn't. So we need to actually add that. And also check our main.dat. So we didn't add that too. So let's configure all this stuff. Looks like our the error is actually telling us the right stuff, that we didn't do that. And so how do we do this? So I'm going to create. So if you're working with Stripe, if you head over here in your dashboard home, so there's basically your publishable key that you need to copy. So you need to use this a publishable key and not a secret key. And also, even if you want to use a secret key at a point, don't expose it to anyone. Also the same with a publishable key, both of them. And so I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to head over to our environment folder, not a folder but file. I'm going to create a new variable called publishable key. think that should be it, and that should be equals to this string that I just copied. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. Very good. And publishable key. Okay, yeah, so that's it. And the next one will merchant identifier. So create another variable called merchant identifier. Do that somewhere right here. Merchant ID, no ID. For now, you could just name an entity that you want. Okay, there we go. And next will be Stripe URL. Stripe URL scheme. Stripe URL scheme. That's equals to can just limit anything you want. I think that's not a problem. But you have to make sure what you should do there if you are kind of like using that in production. So go ahead and save this. No, go ahead and save this, and then head over to the main.dat. So somewhere here, so I'm going to say first of all call Stripe. So Stripe.publishable key, yeah, import Stripe. So Stripe.publishable key should be equals to .env no. So yeah, so there we go. And next this is now the value for it. So the value should be this publishable key. Just copy that out and paste that in here. Okay, there we go. And the next one will be basically stripe dot merchant identifier. So just say equals to .env. That should be equals to merchant ID. So just name that merchant ID. So replace whatever we have here with it. Next will be stripe dot URL scheme is equals to what do we name that? Yeah, stripe URL scheme. Copy that. Then you can just use that in here. And next is basically calling await on Stripe settings. The settings. Let's call the instance first and then apply settings. Yeah, that should be it. That's all we need to do. Let's see if there's something else we need to do here. I don't think so. Yeah, with that being added, so we could just head over to our app again. Then we need to restart our app. Just restart the application. Okay. Come on, why is it taking time? Okay, so head over to the payment again, open that up, head over here, And remember our fake card details, so just add the fake card details. Where are they? Where is it? Just head about the payment methods. PM card AE, no. Okay, yeah, so let's try this. And the try with which one should be simple. So say 4 0. How many zeros? Yeah, so that's 3 zeros, so another double 0 and 7 8. After that we have 4 3 zeros, and after that we have 3 zeros again with 1. And cardholder name, I just named it Kane. Expiring date, say 8 and 45. CVV, just anything random. And now let's clear this and see what happens when we tap on this. So it says we are missing required param customer. Okay, that's interesting. Missing required param customer, and that's actually showing undefined right here for some reason. So I have payment ID. Okay. Customer. And this customer ID. Okay, we the one that made the mistake. So it's not customer, it's customer ID. Okay, yeah. So let's try this again. But before we do that, so basically let's send back payment method to the user. So this okay, we actually have an issue we didn't notice here. So our response the status, which is sending status of 200, which is okay. 200 means okay in HTTP language, and then you have dot send. So what are we sending back to the client that is requesting something, a resource from us? We are sending a card variable that doesn't exist. So what we should actually be sending is payment method that exists. Let's send that in there. Let's see what else we need to do. So response, okay, when there's error, send back an error response. Okay, try again and try this. So if you tap on this again, and that worked, guys. So that worked. So you see this card, and you have the ID, we have the pay, everything about the card is added here, the billing details. Let's see, expiring month is 8, expiring year is 2045. Is that actually what we added? Okay, yeah, 2045. Fingerprint is this, funding is credit generated from last 4 digits is 001, which we are seeing here. That's the last 4 digits. And let's what else? Network. Okay, our variable is Visa, so it's actually a Visa card. Yeah, preferred 3D secure usage supported through wallet node created at this, customer this, life mode force, metadata this, type card. Okay, address check line pass, brand Visa check. Actually that's something I'm looking for. Somewhere that said that it actually passed every check. Okay, CV check is passed, so it's worked. So CV check is actually working. That was saying it's passed. And expiring year is 2045. Okay, yeah. So let's head over here and check that. So you always kind of need to verify in the main source of truth, which is the dashboard. So let's see if dashboard agrees with us that there is a customer with that card. So you open this, and there we go. So basically this customer should have 3 cards because this is big customer we have been populating. And recently got this, which one is the default again? Okay, yeah, so there's a new card we added. You see the name is Kevin from and the last 4 digits, which is this, showing up here. Expiring date 8, yeah, 2045. Type is Visa credit card. And also the ID, there's the payment ID, payment method ID. And let's see what else. Billing address, there we go. So there's the billing address. And yeah, CV shake, past, street shake, past, zip shake, past. All these are passing. Origin, United Emirates, Arab Emirates. Okay. Phone number, we didn't provide that, but we could have provided that. Issuer, no issuer identified. Okay. Yeah, I think if we are testing with the real data, this detail should actually be added. So it should say issuer is identified. Okay. I don't even know what I'm pronouncing again. Yeah, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. So the issuer is actually identified. Yeah. So back over here. So we say, and yeah. So right now we kind of succeeded in the third method that we are actually checking. So this is the third method of how to add payment details to Shopify, to Stripe. So payment details to Stripe. So okay guys, sorry, the reason why I'm constantly talking about Shopify is that I'm currently creating a Shopify plugin, not plugin, yeah, Shopify extension and app, custom app, so for a project I'm working on. So that's why I keep on repeating Shopify. If you are kind of like interested what I'm calling Shopify. So but yeah, it's Stripe. Yeah, so if we want to save this card inside our database right now, we are kind of like good to go. We won't have any security issue at our end. So the only thing we need to save is save the last digit, which is given to us. So if you look at our design, so our design says that we should save it. You should be able to show the user the type of card and the last 4 digits, which is here. For that reason, so we just show them this, and after we show them the type of card, which is already showing up here, Visa credit card. We show them that. That's all we need to show them, so we can be able to save this, and then we could save the customer's ID and also the payments, the card ID too. So both are needed. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's how to save. But we're still going to do that today, but first of all, let's deal with how to be able to submit the user's card to Stripe. And one thing you should notice that we are submitting this card without actually making payment to the user. That's because we just want to be able to allow the user to save their card with us, and then when they want to make a payment, they should be able to select the card they want to use for payment and pay with that card. So that's the functionality we are looking forward to. Yeah, we are all going to see that in the next features that we're going to be adding into the app. And yeah, with the third method being concluded, so let's head forward to the last method, which I call the fourth method, and that's the secured method to go with. But I think you still need to comply with SAC A field form. Yeah, still need to comply with that, but that's a most safe method to work with. And the method we are talking about is basically using their own payment details to receive payment. And to do that, we just head over here to our add new card screen. Once we are right there, we are going to remove our own payment details. I'm going to just uncomment the code, just not removing it, guys. Just uncomment the code out. Should start from somewhere. Where should we start? I think from here all the way down to here. Yeah, so comment that out. If you save this, you see that this is no longer showing up. And now we are going to use Stripe own card payments card form, which we actually look similar to this right here. Where is it? So yeah, so there's one that looks like this, and there's one that looks I'm trying to see the second one, but okay, I think it would be better to actually work on it, and then we could see that while working on it. So let's say we are here, we actually here, not let's say I need to do, what do we need to do is to, yeah, for the card card field widgets, yeah, card field widgets. If you save this, and then you're going to see that showing up. So this is the card field widget, and we can actually leave it this way. Do you know why? We can actually try to comply with their own details, because that's matching up to a bit to what we need. Because if you tap on this, it's kind of like with our own custom theme. You see the color of that blinking cursor, and the bottom of the input fields is kind of like using the same theme colors that we implemented. So we could decide to keep it if you want. So let's work with this first. Let's not talk too much. So with that, what we need to do at the back end, not the back end, at our app controller, is to get hold of these details from the user. And let me see. Let's see. So in that case, we need to comment this out. No, do we? No, I think we could just leave this. And we need the billing address. I think we still need that. What else do we need? Okay, so we could just head over to the stuff right here. Let's see what we need to call if you have to use this feature. So basically, we need to add that, and then we need to say create payment method with the card. Okay, create payment method with that. I think we should just follow the same process that we actually did before. Payment methods with strive.payment method.list. No, that's not actually what we're looking for to do. Let's see. Yeah, I think I got a documentation that shows that better. I need to use this with our Stripe documentation. So yeah, that work with card field. So just go through this. I'm going to have payment method options. I should have passed the controller to that. Yeah, let's try to see, make sure that we are getting this the right way to do that. Okay, we could just call the update method and set whatever we want to set to that. And once we call payment parameters, and yeah, that's all. Okay, let's go ahead and test that out. Let's create card editing controller. So our new card screen, Unfortunately, this is a stateless widget. So how do we accomplish this? So this is not acceptable here because we need to dispose the controller, and this doesn't. So the reason, because this doesn't has a dispose method or init state method, because it's stateless widget, and where we could actually think we can add that in our profile main controller right here. I'll scroll up. Okay, so I'm going to paste that in here, and then inside our onLady method, I'm going to call something like controller. Is any already? No. Let's see the method he has. Let's see what we need to do. So add listener if you want to add. I don't think we need any of that to record here, so just remove that, and then we need to dispose it of. I'm just called controller dispose. That will dispose it of, and then we could actually make use of that controller right in our add screen. So just call profile controller.controller and add that to the card field. So controller, I'll just say profile controller. We have card editing, edit controller, and card form editing, edit controller. Okay, I see. So there are two different controller. We'll actually create that too, yeah. This for the card form field. There we go. And then need to dispose this also. Dispose that, and then we can just make use of that right here. The error goes away. And now is to how we're going to make use of this to send okay, I'm going to head over to main. Okay, the function we're going to call whenever we tap this button is still the same function that we had here, but we're not going to call this. Now that should we be able to call this time around? So comment both of them out. Well, seeing these particular details still there. Okay, so let's be sure we are not missing anything. So we're getting hold of the we added. Okay, don't see. Oh, no, I don't need this. So let's say we added, yeah, so we added card form field, which we already did add, and they added the controllers and other stuff. Controller.details.complete is equals to true. Then we can be able to handle pay plus, and then we have shop.instance confirm payment, and okay, payment method, that's all we need to pass in there. Client secret, that's all. Okay, let's see. It looks like we're still going through over the same documentation, not moving forward with this. Okay, I think we are already doing the same thing they are doing here. There's nothing much that's been done here because we already have Stripe instance confirm payment. I think the only thing is remaining that we need to add this to be able to save the card. I think that should be it. Let's try that, and then we're not doing any payments, so there's no need of adding that, but let's go ahead and test this out. Let's start our app. So head over here, open this. So let's try with a different card details. Okay, let's try this one. So I have 400, that should be 3 zeros, and the next one is 304, and then 4 zeros, 1 2 3 4, 008 8. Okay, months, let's say that should be 6. Here is 42, and CVC is 523. Yeah, I think we are good to go. Yeah, Visa, sorry, that was the text, so that's Visa. Let's bring this up, see if there's any issue while trying to create this. So tap on create. We didn't receive any response. Let's look at our back end to see what happens. So we actually send the customer back over here. That's 11:51. That was the last time we called that endpoint, so let's call that again. Okay, that's not getting called because we have this if statement right here. So where we say add new card, we have this if statement right here that's checking if this is actually not empty. And to actually get this to work, we should remove the if statement entirely, and we then add it back up later on. So just remove that. Yeah, so just remove that and save this. And tap on this again. Yeah, so it's submitted. Let's see what it actually submitted to us. Okay, yeah, that's working. Okay guys, that's working. Let's look at this. So you can actually see the last 4 digits is 008, which is this 0008, and the year is 2042, which we have 2042. Okay, that's working. Next we have expiring month is 6th, which is 6th. And then if you head over to our dashboard, yeah, now there's our dashboard. If you refresh this, yeah, that's perfect. So there we go. So you can actually see the same card details that we have here, and the expiring month and year that we have here, and the visa type that we actually have here. Yeah, the card ID, the payment method ID, the billing address, okay, hosting, phone number, Australia, the origin is Australia, yeah, and then CVC shake, the hosting past. Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah guys, that's the method we can actually do be able to submit our card payments in using Stripe. Yeah, so remaining one more stuff I need to show you guys. It's still the same process, but just changing the card field to be a different form. So just comment that out. I'm going to use this one called card form field. Is it? Yeah, card form field. Yeah, this one. So there's the one I'm trying to use right now. So tap into the controller property, and I'm going to use this controller. That's the first controller we created. Yeah, that's called controller as well. Save that, and there we go. So you can actually use this, which is a bit similar to what we have. So if you look at that, it's kind of like similar to what we have. Yeah, it's similar to the previous one we are using. And then if you head over here, so let's see something we could test it with. We could actually test it with let's see, yeah, let's try with this Germany stuff. Germany, I could just select a card number first. So start with a card number, and the card number we are going to use right here is going to be Germany. So that should be 4. How many zeros are there? So 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. And then we have 00027, and we have 6 6. Isn't that 4? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's 3. 0016. Yeah, so month and year, and just formulate anything in your head. Just put anything there. So just start with 453. I wish I could be able to live up to 2053. How many years? Oh damn, that should be how many years. Okay. So CVC, let's say that should be 425, and then zip. What was that? What was zip again? Okay guys, I have not been using that before, so we could just formulate any stuff inside our head. But what was zip? So any future date, 3-digit number, is requiring that we add a zip. Just leave that. Okay, zip. Okay, okay, the country code. Okay, I see. Germany zip. Let's check for Germany. Germany zip. Yeah. So zip code. What? Berlin postcode is comprised between this and this. For Monaco, postal code is comprised between. Okay, there's no single one. Okay, guys, we just copy anything. And I should try this one that says 10115. 10115. I think that's it. And change this to be Germany. Okay, we are going to do a lot of searching today. So scroll down. That should be under G. I think I've forgotten my ABCD. Okay, yeah, this should be it. Yeah, so this is Germany. So just select that. I see that changed to Germany, and then we could just go ahead and submit this and see what that looks like. Apply. And that worked too. So we have, okay, that's a problem. That's a serious problem. So basically it was actually using the previous card that we submitted. It submitted it back again, which is not what we are looking for. So we need to restart our app, I guess. So we just need to restart the app. We need to start typing this again. Where is it? Where is it? No. Where are those cards? Or we can actually try using Canada. But let's keep on with Germany. So we try 4000 123, and then we have 0027 0027, and we have 6000 6123, and 0016 0016. A month, it should be anything you've kind of like goes in your head, so just say 30356 and CVC, just any random numbers, and zip. Remember our Germany zip, that should be 10110115. Yeah, I think that's it. Clear this off, apply that. So let's relax and watch that unfold. Come on, I'm still using the previous card, not the new one. So is there any stuff that we need to do special? Controller dispose. Last four. Okay. Still the previous one. I think maybe this is because we created two controller right here. So let's comment that one out. Yeah, comment that one out. Save this again. Yeah, so we're using the new one. So we are kind of like using only one single controller right here, which is this one. And let's try restarting the app again, because I don't think that we are doing any other stuff wrong here. This is the last one we are trying to see that we could actually achieve. Yeah, remove listener, dispose, controller dispose, add listener updates, unplaced. Okay, yeah, billing details, test integrations, like say this is keep on taking us over and again. So let's see design stuff. Okay, yeah. telephone field. I think we already did all those stuff. So yeah. So I don't think there's any other stuff we need to fix here. So head over here, tap on payments, new card. Just pass with this. So let's try Canada. So I'm going to say that should be 4123000 12 4000 000 and months try 05 2025 CVC 235 zip Canada zip. Okay, it's 876876. We are talking about Canada. Yeah, so that should be done with. Okay. Okay guys, so it looks like we keep on being updated with the previous card we entered. So it's still updating with the previous card we entered, but basically you guys have already seen how to actually achieve those. Yeah, so there's nothing much there, so that's all we need to do. So we just pretty much covered the whole ways you can actually use Stripe in your app, and I don't think there's anyone I left behind. Okay, yeah, I think we're done with that. And next thing we basically to check, you see, it's keep on updating with the card, the last card we were using, which is not what we want, but at least we see that it's working. Just that we could have selected a card previously and you updated it. Check right here, should be somewhere. No. Okay, this one. So I have the card properties being used here. Okay, Stripe provider. Okay, correct card details. Also actually calling that, yeah, I know we call it, yeah, we call that Stripe instance. Okay, so if you want to charge the safeguard, is the method to serve the to charge the saved card. I think that's it. There's nothing else we need to change. Yeah, that pretty much covered everything, but just trying to make sure that we are actually doing that. That's it. So next we'll be moving over to actually be able to save this card on our device and be able to display it somewhere here. When the user comes, the user could actually see the card they actually saved. We have a whole lot of bunch of cards here. We could actually delete most of them. We could just leave them there. But so what we have now doesn't make sense, because we want to, in a situation that when we submit the card, we immediately save it to our database, which is on-premise database we have in our phone, local database. Yeah, so that's the what we are going to work on right now. So let's see. um, okay, there we go. So we will start by deleting most of the user's card here. We don't need it right now because we want to be able to submit that with our own app and then save that immediately once that is actually submitted. So that's the functionality we are trying to achieve right away. Let me see what. So go ahead and delete this. Delete this. Delete this. Delete this. delete this, and let's delete this. Yeah, I think that's it. So let's start again from the beginning part. So we'll go back right in here. So I'm going to accept the card from our own end, so using our custom card field. So I'm going to uncomment this code that we have here. So dangerously updates, yeah, do this, yeah, get hold of this, call this API, let me see if there's something else we're missing, and then head over to the top over here, and then uncomment this out. I don't need them anymore, and also do the same with this, comment it out, save that, and then head over to the card screen, uncomment this, comment this, not uncomment it, just comment this, and then uncomment this one out. And once that is done, import most of the stuff we need to import. Okay, we have an error, so we need to import this. Also do the same here. Okay, yeah, just import that, save this. Okay, so something is wrong. Let's restart the screen. Head back, and then payments, new card. So yeah, the error goes away. And now once we cannot be able to fill in these details, and also we need to uncomment our if statement. So we commented our if statement previously. Where is that? Okay, yeah, there we go. So that should be this. No, this one. Okay. Okay, I think this is it. So save that. We are good to go, but there's something we need to address right here. So first of all, we need to dynamically create a user to be able to update them. So how do we do that? So open this up. So we're going to say response res, and inside it we target the ID part of it. So response.id, get the user ID, customer ID that we want, save that in there. I think that's all we need. And once we do that, so remember we want to be able to we don't want to create a user if the user have not created a card. So the user should be able to create a card before we can be able to create a customer on our Stripe backend. So in that case, we need to return back here and delete all these customers that we have for now. So just delete the customer. Let's wait for that to happen. So just clear out the whole Stripe database that we have, so that we could just, the user add a new card. We check if the user does have not added we check if the user has not been created as a Shopify, as a Stripe customer. So if they are not been created as a Stripe customer, then we could go ahead and create them as a Stripe customer. So those are the changes that we need to do in our app side. So this is done. So we could refresh this to actually update. I don't know why they are not doing that on their own end. So once that is done, what we need to do is basically, so we have this that creates a customer, and then use the customer to create this particular ID right here. Before we go on, so I will head over to Firebase. So because we want to store our something about our user on the Firebase, so let's head over to there. I think that should be under, is that home? We're getting everything about the user, or is he So I'm trying to see how we have a method that's actually helping us to update the user details in a Firebase. If I could still remember, yeah. So when we called, okay, the user created. Okay, I think I remember where we did that. So where we did something like that was actually at edit screen. So let's head over to settings screen. That should be somewhere. Okay, guys. Not make a point. Not rush screen. Not home. I'm almost confused on the screens that we was created so far. Come on. Okay, the profile section. And yeah, over here we have the edit profile screen, but we are looking at the controller right here, profile controller, where we are editing the user and updating their details on our file store database. So we say, yeah, I think, okay, upload file, not there. Okay, file store collection, so user path collection, yeah, and we find out the user and we're updating the username, and these values is what we are updating on the user. So we just copy that, the same stuff, and just copy the whole stuff. So scroll down to the section where we are creating the card, so where we are calling add new card. So add new card, and what we need to do is basically check, we need to do an if statement right here. So I'm going to have an if statement inside here. So should we have two if statements? Does that, yeah, let me see. So that if statement that checks if this is working. So if this is this, go ahead and do this. Okay, yeah. So that's what we need to do. So we say if, so I'm going to say if so if get user, so get user dot, so we need to add a value for our user. So our Firebase user data type should actually have, we need to update that. Go to definition. So the first so get user, which is of type user model. Go to definition. So our user model should have a parameter here called final string Stripe customer, Stripe, so Stripe ID, Stripe customer ID, yeah. So there we go. So Stripe customer ID, that's what we are looking for. We are going to add that here. Require these dots, Stripe customer ID, and also here we can get hold of that. But now if this doesn't exist, then pass an empty string. And also if you want to pass this back, you could just add Stripe customer ID. Okay, there we go. We're gonna update all those. So we are going to have some issues that we need to update right now, because we are updating some stuff. We need to head over to this section. Okay, so it's requiring the Stripe customer ID. Set that to empty. I think that's all. We're not having any issues anymore. So in that case, in our profile main controller, scroll down right under here. So we could just say if Stripe customer ID is not dot is empty. Okay, that is not empty. It's not empty. So we have this get user, okay, Stripe customer ID dot is not empty. So if it's not empty, go ahead and then do this by passing in the customer ID in there. So just basically create this. So the ID will be get user dot get user dot Stripe customer ID. So that's all we need in there. Okay, there we go. And then if else, so if this is empty, so if it's empty, then it's going to skip that if statement and run to this section, whereby we are going to create a new Stripe customer and then use that to create a new card for our customer. But in that case, we need access to this card response. We need access to the card response, but we're going to say, so the card response is actually a type of map. And we are going to call over here to say final. Instead of saying final, just make it this way and then say card. Then we could just make it optional, and then we could just use that right here. There we go. And let me see. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. So we have the card response, which is this, and also okay. So if the customer ID is this, use the customer ID to create a Stripe customer card for that particular customer that we're trying to create. But if the customer ID doesn't exist, so basically go ahead and create a new customer and then create the card on that particular customer. So, and the next we have to do after that, so I'm basically going to go ahead and print the boot response that we are getting. And the next will be to card model. Yeah, so inside our card, we open our card model because we want to store the card in our database, our on-premise database, which is basically our local database on our phone. And the next, we need to update this so we don't need to store the card number, the card holder name, and let me see. So we can just actually store the card holder name, that's not an issue. But the card number, we could actually store that, but it's going to be the last four digits. Okay, the expiring date, we can store that, but the CVV, we don't need to store that. The card type, we could store that. So we need to actually remove this portion of our card from our card model. So head over to the card model. So due to we don't need the CVV or what again, so just basically remove that portion and name this to be 3. And we are still going to generate this back up again. CVV, just remove that. Don't need to store that. Okay, save our card. But before we do anything, like I said, we need to generate this back up. So I'm going to use Hive. So there's a command we could use to generate Hive database. I'm trying to see if we still remember that. Yes, I'm trying to remember the command for that. Okay, yeah, so we could just use Hive generator adapter. see how to use that. So readme example. Come on, something is strange. Come on, how did I even forget this the command? That should be something called hive generates, something like that. Okay, I think I found it. So I just saved this somewhere on my app, somewhere else. So I found it. Just remove this. We don't need that. So we need to generate this back up again. So just call the command right here. Paste the code, then enter. So that will generate the new adapter for this model that doesn't have the CVV added, but has a card holder name, card number, expiring date, card type. Yeah. So with that being done, so we could just head over to profile main that we have here, remove this, so this is no longer needed. There we go. Go ahead and save this. Do we need to save that? Yeah. So we have the card model which has a card number, but we are not, so be careful, we are not getting that from this input field because we don't want to store that from this input field. What we are trying to do is basically get that from the returned yeah. So this card response, we have everything that we need to save. So for the card response, we are going to get hold of the card number. Remember from here, so the response is basically going to look like this. Now that, let's see, where is it? Okay, let me copy something over. So you can see what the card response will look like. So the card response, so create a card. So the card response will basically look like this. So we have the ID, we have the CVC check, pass, and all those stuff. So all those will be showing up here, and expiring months, fingerprints, method, tokenization method. So you have the get hold of the, what's it called again? The last 4 digits. So yeah, the last 4 digits, we get hold of that. So just copy that, and that should be the card number. The last 4 digits should be the card number, and next will be the name of the customer. I think that was actually added or not. So let's add the brand. So the brand is basically the card type. So the card type will be coming from card response. Yeah, the brand. So that will be where that will be coming from. And the next is basically the expiring month and expiring year. So the expiring month and expiring year. So we just copy the expiring year and expiring month. So we join both of them together. So we get hold of expiring month. So this is how we do that. So this is the expiring date. Work on that by just saying doing this, and in there we could just have we can actually use concatenation, but let's go with this. So I have card response, which has expiring months, Yeah. Yeah, card response expiring month, then slash. Also card response expiring year. Let's see if that's still, yeah, expiring year. Okay. So that's how we create both of them. So you're having an issue saying unterminated string. So where's that coming from? So I have this all the way to, okay, I see. So I have this slash, and then so this start from this, okay, and end right here where we have this start from this and ends here. Come on. Okay, I see the mistake that we did. Okay, so they should have, okay, I see. And yes, yeah, let's bring both of them together. And okay, so in that, yeah, to have the card bank, card expiring and year, and next will be the card holder name, and we could get that from, let's see if that's part of the response that we're getting. Okay, name, so you could actually get hold of the name too. Okay, yeah, just pass the name, that's all. Save that, and the next one is just to save that inside our Hive database. So there we go, hive.box card model, hiveboxes.k, carddb.add, card model.then, and if they're successful, say card added successfully, and just print it out here. Okay, so there we go. Let's see if we are actually on the right track and we're not making a mistake somewhere. Okay, so save that. Right, just save that. Let's try this out. So, okay, one more thing we forgot, we didn't update our Firebase. So we actually need to update our Firebase with the customer details. So somewhere after adding this, yeah, let me see. Okay, we do that somewhere here and remove the them part of it. Okay, and the image URL. So the image URL, we don't need to update that. So all the stuff we're not updating, it's basically what we are only updating is the stripe. It's basically this property, user model. So this is the property we want to update. Yeah, so that would be from the card response ID. I think next thing we need to actually update is the card ID itself. So the card ID, we actually need to update that. For now, let's just leave it at this point. So let's leave it at just updating the Stripe customer ID and the card details without the card ID, but we still need to update those ones later on. We could actually do it after testing this one and see how that looks like. Let's just update it at the same time. So no, not the user model, but basically it will be the card model. So we need to actually run the same command we ran before to update this. So I'm going to say at field 4 string, so it's going to be card, it's called stripe card ID. So just run the same code. Okay, there we go. Head over to the profile controller we have here. Okay, this will show an error. Let's say card stripe card ID will be from card response, not ID, but basically yeah, so the card ID should be basically the ID returned from the card. I think that should be it. Yeah, that should be it. So let's go over, say yeah, response ID, and then response the ID from here for the customer ID. Card response the ID will be the card ID and the card brand. So we are saving the Stripe customer ID for making any payment and all those stuff. But this Firestore we are calling here, so I'm trying to make sense of this. So that will be actually be called every single time if this is not empty, if it's not empty it's true, go ahead and do this, but if it's not empty it's false. And go ahead and create the customer, and this one should actually be called if this is empty, then we should actually be calling this one. So you have another if statement here, and we still need to structure our code. So far our code is not looking good, but I'm going to say if get user.stripe customer ID is empty, is empty. If it's empty, go ahead and update that particular customer. So let's go ahead and save this and start working on this. But so right now we are saving the Stripe customer ID, but we're not saving it inside the user's DB. So we're only saving it inside the user's Firebase. So I'm thinking maybe you could actually save it inside the user DB, which is the customer ID too, because over here we are inside the card model, we're already saving the card number, holder name, expiring date, card type, Stripe card ID, but we're not saving the customer with it. So but that's okay with me. So far we can do update to that. Just trying to run this up. So we have this functionality this way. Let's try submitting a card and see what error we'll be getting next. Because we haven't tested anything so far, we are just writing codes. But let's see if that really works. So this is our dashboard. Restart this, and then we can actually start adding. Okay, make sure that this is empty. So this is empty for now. I'm going to go ahead and say, so let's test with United States. So testing with United States, we are having 4242424242424. Okay. The card holder name, I'm going to call that Kosi dev, and then month slash year, anything 04 year 2026 CVV or CVC 236. I think that's it. Then open this up and watch out for what's going to happen next. If you basically go ahead and close this and call this, okay, I know we are going to get an error, and the first error says that type of null is not a subtype of string or function results. Okay, where is this coming from? String. Okay, require this Stripe customer ID. Okay. So if it's not empty, is equals to true, that means it's not empty. Go ahead and do it this way. Else do it the other way. So let's try this again. Just go ahead and remove this. Okay, looks like it worked. Except we had an issue. So right somewhere here. So no, it's not a subtype of type string. Let's see. So this is the card, this is the card, and last four. So last four, say that it's not okay. Last four card response. Okay, this is the card is particularly the card response that we are using. There's an issue that we have with that. Basically, the last four is not a variable. Let's see the reason why that is not. Brand card brand. Okay, see, so we have this issue, this stuff called card, brand. Okay, let's copy this, see this in a JSON viewer. Let's copy it and head over to the browser. So that's what we call JSON viewer. Okay, I don't know what it's doing. Just paste our JSON file here. Yeah, so that's what we're looking for. So we have the ID prop part of the card right here showing up here, and we have the object payment method. What did I do? Yeah, so we have the billing address. Okay, then we have, okay, there's something called card that we could go through and do whatever we want to do. So we have card property, and inside that card property there's another object. Okay, inside that card property we have the brand, which is Visa, and then we can have the check and all those stuff. Okay, I see. Okay guys, so we actually the one causing the issue. So to fix that, so this should be actually card response. Card. Okay, so we made a mistake now. Let's fix that up. So just copy this. Where's that? Okay, card. So it's called card. Just add that in here. So inside that we are going to get hold of let's see where the last 4 digits lives in. So the last 4 digit is somewhere, okay, inside it we have, okay, go through this way, follow the line. Okay, inside it we have the last 4 digits, which is actually a number and not a string. So we actually have to convert this into a string. And this is expecting a number and not a string. I think we, inside our card model, we need to fix something up. So card number, okay, we actually made a mistake. That shouldn't be a string, so that should actually be an int. So we still need to run this again. So this should be a string, int, expiring date should be a string, card type is string, this is string. So if we fix that, go back here and still run the same code that we were running previously. Yeah, this will build the same. Yeah, so I think that's completed. So head over here. So right now we can get this as a number and store it here, which is an integer, and then the holder name, so the card holder name, we get access to it through this. So that's where we could get the name. So the get the name is inside billing details. So if you have something called billing details, inside they have an object. Inside there we have another object that's called address. So inside this one we have this name of the user. So you could just say this should be inside the billing details, and inside the billing details we should have a property called name. So format that this way. I think that's it, so that we are good to go. And next is the expiring date, which goes this way. Okay, expiring date, let's see how to get hold of that. So get hold of the expiring date. That should be inside, okay, inside the card. Okay, expiring year, expiring months. So we can just copy this and use that for all of them, and then we could just say yeah, I think that's it. And then the brand is inside card. So inside card we get hold of the brand. Okay, the ID is outer, so just get the ID directory. So even if we look at our dashboard right now, we could actually see a user which is created with the card which actually submitted, but that's not what we're looking for. So you can see that that's working. So we have a user which is submitted already with that card details. And if we look at our Firebase, so I don't think anything is updated inside our Firebase. Inside users, so there's only one user we have so far, and we could check to say, okay, the user already have phone number, name, image, and email, so they don't have the details added to them. So let's go ahead and delete this Stripe user here. Delete that. So wait for this to finish. Okay, that's done. Start that. So this is empty again. Try our luck again. Just try time. Submit, and let's wait for this to complete. Okay, we got another error. So type string is not a subtype of int. Card number is actually okay. Card number, which is this. It's not a subtype. Let's use int.parse. So let's try that again. Okay, card successfully added. So that's what it says. card added, instance of card, and we could actually view that in our DB here. So it should be the first one right here. Open that, and there we go. So you could actually see that. So 42, which is this name. So this name is actually coming from the user main name and not from the card name they imputed here. So this is different. So we are not actually saving this, but we could actually decide to save that instead of using the user main name. You see the visa, United States. So everything is actually working, and we currently was able to save that inside our DB on its own database, local database, which we need to be actually to show somewhere here. So we need to be able to show that here. And how to do that is to actually have a function that get called whenever someone lands on this page, and that function, so I'm trying to wrap this up, trying to pass about this. So get previous user profiles and all that. So we don't have the function yet, so let's create a function. Okay, so it's the same stuff we did here. So I'm going to say void get user cards. So there we go. So hi.boss6.get the user card. So it's suggesting this code for me, but that's not basically what we need. To remove the dot values dot to list. I get rid of the values, convert it to a list, and then we could just say over here, instead of printing it, so we're going to assign it to a variable that's going to be in charge of monitoring the cards property. Let's see. Yeah, we just create that right here. So I'm going to say final rx n of type. So the type should be card model, not card, or card model, which is user cards, and it's going to be a type of list, rs list of type. Okay, yeah, it should be equals to, yeah, so we have card model, user cards, card model, obx observable. Then we just, not cards, that should be card. Get rid of that, and then scroll towards down here. Before printing this, I could just say card.value is equals to cards. There we go, and then we could just call the function right somewhere here. So since that is a list, right, so it's actually a list, then we could test that out by restarting our app, because this, when you call this function, it's going to actually print the list of cards to us for us to see. So let's test that out and make sure this is actually working. Yeah, so it's working. So you have cards, instance of card model. So we already have one card at the moment, so that's why it's showing one card here. So let's see how to display that. And if we look at our design, our card should be displayed in this way as this. So you have the card, image, visa, and then this. So there we go. So we could just say where is that? Okay guys, I'm even confused now. So where do we do that again? So okay, inside payment, so we have new card screen, new card, no, not this, payment options, so profile edit card. Let's see if this is the screen that we're looking for. Okay, so that's it. So still leave this in there, but we still want to add a list of cards that we kind of want to show. So I'm going to add a list view. Does that actually make sense to have a list view there? To me, it doesn't make sense to have a list view right there. What I could actually do is to have an OBX so I have a column that's right here, right? And inside the column we have a row widget, which is this. Inside there we have this. I'm thinking of what widget we could actually add here for the cards. So you can actually display it under this particular card here for now. That will be in this form, but I need to use something like OBX to actually be able to display it whenever there are changes on the card. And if I use a list view here, so if I use a list view, it will still work, but we have to have a scrollable list view, but this will not be scrolling, so this will be hanging on top of there and the rest will be scrolling. Let's go ahead and use list view, guys. So I'm going to use OBX, and inside there I'm going to say obx.builder. And in there I'm going to say this view dot builder, and the builder function, we're going to have a context and index. So right in there, item counts. So the item counts is basically going to coming from what's it called, profile controller that we have here. So there we have the profile controller. So go ahead and import this. Okay, that's all. And next is to make use of that. The next thing called the profile controller dot card user cards dot value dot length. Yeah. Yeah, dot length. And next we're going to return. What are we returning? So I'm going to return exactly the same widget that looks like this same widget. So basically return that. I'm going to paste that in here as a return type. And since we're going to return that, we need to change the text, the title, to say something different. So this time around we are going to do some concatenation, and I'm going to say for profile controller are these cards index dot card holder name. So we don't need the card holder name, we just need the brand or card type. So that should actually be updated. That should have updated, but for some reason it's not updating. Okay, I see. We have an issue. So basically return this. Okay, we have okay, I see. So we gave it a width, need to give it a height property. I could just wrap that with a size box. Say height should be mediocrity of height, any height it wants, and this also, yeah, there we go. About this, so this is going to kind of like crossover, showing us there's an issue. Come on, just want to route this off, expand it, remove this. Yeah, so that will save us the day. So the expanded basically means take up the available height that's within the parents. So instead of giving it a height that way. Yeah, I think that's it. So right now we have the card is Visa, so that's basically the card we added is a Visa card. Because it's a Visa card, we don't only want the card type, we still want to be able to show the user the last digits in there. And how to do that, we're going to use a concatenation method. So we're going to have a long string showing up here. So we're going to use something like this. Yeah, there we go, and pass that information here, and then we're going to have that icon, and then have another one which should be the card number. And let's look at this and see, okay, there should be a space between both of them, but let's save this. And there you go. So you could see that, but there should actually be a space, and there we have the space. But I don't think this actually looks good to what we want. But yeah, I think this is okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah. So if you look at the design we have so far, we could actually see. So let's open this. We could actually see we have the new card open. We have Visa, and the card, the icon, and then the card property, and we have the MasterCard the same. So yeah, I think it's working. That's okay so far. So if you keep on adding more card, it will be showing up here. If you want us to test that out again, so we could just go ahead and test that out, but I don't want to, whenever I tap on that, to go over here. Just close this. So if you tap on this right now, it doesn't do anything. But if you tap here, it takes you to the new card page where we can be able to add our card. So let's try adding a new card. So let's add a new card so far. So we are going to be using the Stripe testing cards. So let's add a Canada card. So I'm going to say this should be 400. 403 zeros, and we have 20 and a 12, and we have 4 and 000, 2 3, and we have 4. Yeah, we'll have the last one should be 4 zeros, 1 2 3 4. Yeah, so card holder name, King. So the name doesn't actually make any sense. Just leave that here, because right now we're not saving the name we're not sending the name to Stripe, are we? I think so. So you have Canada. So the expiring month should be, let's say 5, and then that should be 53, and the CVC should be any random number, and then let's go ahead and save that. Let's look over here and see what happens. some reason. Okay, that worked. So it says success. The card has been added, so you can actually see that showing up here. Yeah, it's showing up here. So let's go back and see if the card was actually added. Head back there. It's still showing up one. That means it's not actually updating, but that's due to we are not actually updating the variable inside here. So for it, if we want that to actually update immediately, we need to update the variable here. But if you want to see it in action, just basically go back out of the screen and then come back again. Okay, let's restart our app. And then head back there. Yeah, so now right now it's actually showing up. Yeah, there we go. And you can see this is a Visa card. The card type is Visa, and we have 00 stuff, but we are already having 10. I don't know why we're having 10, but we need to still check that out. That will be tomorrow. Tomorrow we need to implement a way to actually delete these cards and then move over to other stuff in the app. I think we'll be doing a lot tomorrow, but let's see this in our dashboard. So it's still the same. Okay, we actually created a new user while adding a card, which is strange. So that's not the functionality we are looking for. We need to fix that up. And there's the card we added, and there's the user for the card. Yeah, so I think that's it for today. So guys, we'll be calling it a day. We cannot spend almost 2 hours 33 minutes so far on this stream. Okay, yeah, so guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, we will continue from basically updating this, because so far we could see there are some bugs we are having. So one of the bugs is that we are actually creating a new user whenever we create a card. So we shouldn't be doing that. We should already be creating a card if the user is not existing in our database. But if the user is existing, we don't need to create a card for the user, which is over here. If we head over to the Firebase, you see the user is already existing here, so we shouldn't be able to create a new user in our Stripe dashboard. In our Stripe dashboard, we shouldn't be able to create a new user because the user is already existing. We just need to append the card details to that user. So that's the bug we need to fix tomorrow. And the next one, we need to be able to delete the user card. If they want to delete their card, we should be able to delete the card from in our app, and also on Stripe. We should delete it on both places. Tell Stripe to delete this card and also delete the card from our app. And the next one is to add a button here that we should be able to toggle on the theme of our app. Maybe if the user wants to toggle the theme to be dark mode or light mode, we add a button here tomorrow to be able to toggle that. And once that is complete, I think the next thing we need to work on should be this screen we have here, this particular screen. So the notification side, but we'll not be adding the functionality, just the screen. And then we can move over to completing other sections of the app, which will be adding the dashboard for psychologists. So far we didn't add any dashboard or interface for psychologists, so we need to add that. And yeah, I think after that will be minor changes, maybe trying to push the app to production. So because that's the goal for the whole thing. Yeah, so thank you guys for joining me today. See you guys tomorrow, where we complete this up. Everyone have a nice day.